There is a turning point in your relational life today, and it may not announce itself loudly at first. What changes everything is that Pisces is moving out of a long, stuck chapter, and once you see what the sky is doing, you may realize the pressure has been building toward one very specific release. The Western picture is telling a clear story. The South Node in Virgo is now behind you, and that matters because this axis has been tied to partnership, marriage, former partners, business alliances, rivals, even open conflict. In practical terms, this is the end of an old loop around us versus me. The energy that used to keep you locked in a repeating pattern is loosening, and that can show up through a departure, a new commitment, a decisive conversation, or simply the moment you stop participating in something that has already expired. It may take a few days for the emotional reality of that ending or beginning to fully land, but the shift is already underway. At the same time, the moon is moving through Pisces early in the day and opposing Venus in your 7th house of partnership, which can make your emotional needs feel extra sensitive around closeness, fairness, and being seen. From one angle, this is about tenderness. From another, it is about not shrinking yourself just to keep harmony. Later, as the moon enters Aries and moves into your 2nd house of resources, the tone becomes more grounded, more direct, and more self-respecting. What felt fuzzy in the morning becomes easier to name by the afternoon. And here's where the bigger synthesis appears. While the Western lens emphasizes the release of an old partnership pattern, the Vedic tradition would read the same day as a karmic correction in the balance between what you give and what you retain. Different languages, same message. You are being asked to stop confusing sacrifice with love. That is the real hinge point of the day. If you've been sensing that a relationship, contract, or even a feud has reached its final useful form, the chart suggests you're probably not imagining it. There's also a lighter thread running through the sky. The moon in Aquarius points toward news from abroad, contact with someone living far away, or an invitation that connects you to travel, family, or a broader horizon. This could come through a relative, a friend, or someone who simply opens a door you weren't expecting. The emotional tone here is not random luck so much as pattern recognition. When one chapter closes in your close partnerships, another part of life begins widening. You may notice that as soon as one bond becomes clearer, the world feels larger again. But here's what almost every viewer misses about a day like this. The shift is not only emotional, it is economic. When the Aries moon reaches your money zone, the sky starts asking a blunt question about value. Not abstract value, real value. What are you worth? What are you offering? And what do you refuse to undercut? That question will echo through the rest of the day, so let it. If your heart feels a little exposed this morning, that makes sense. The Pisces moon opposing Venus can make you want to protect yourself by saying too much, by saying nothing, or by slipping into the familiar Pisces reflex of taking on everyone else's feeling before your own has been named. That is the trap today. Not because you are weak, but because you are perceptive. You can feel the room before the room knows what it feels. The problem is that sensitivity without boundaries turns into emotional fog. So speak earlier than usual. Speak more plainly than usual. If you need reassurance, ask for it before it becomes resentment. If you need space, name it before you disappear. The energy around relationships is much healthier when you let your needs be visible instead of hoping someone will decode them from silence. And if there has been a recent ending, separation, or redefinition in love, this day may help you understand why it had to happen. Not every bond survives honesty. The ones that do usually become stronger because of it. The surprise, though, is that love is not only about closeness today, it is also about fairness. With the Aries moon later in the day, affection gets measured in more tangible ways. A gift, a shared expense, a date, or a practical offer could raise questions about whether someone's effort actually matches their words. You may appreciate the gesture and still feel uneasy about the cost attached to it, or you may sense that somebody is choosing convenience when what you really wanted was thoughtfulness. This is not about keeping score. It is about noticing whether care is being expressed in a language you can actually receive. If you're single, the same transit can sharpen your standards. You may be less impressed by performance and more drawn to sincerity, initiative, and follow through. If you're attached, the cosmic weather favors a direct conversation about what feels fair. Love does not need identical spending habits, but it does need compatible priorities. The moment you say that out loud, the dynamic becomes clearer. What's especially interesting is that the relationship story and the work story are the same story today. In Western astrology, the end of the South Node cycle in your partnership zone points to a release from old agreements. In practical terms, that can affect business partnerships, negotiations, and how you present yourself in professional alliances. If someone has been cooperating with you in a way that looks stable on the outside, but felt draining underneath, you may finally have enough clarity to renegotiate. And if a partnership has been fraying for a while, today's energy can make the truth harder to ignore. This is where your voice matters. Early in the day, you may want to hold back, especially if you're tempted to reveal something important before the timing is right. The chart suggests that intuition is strong, but timing is not automatic. You can know exactly what needs to be said and still benefit from waiting for the right moment. That distinction matters. Strategic silence is not suppression, it is precision. By the afternoon, though, the emphasis shifts from what you are holding inside to what you can build outwardly. Aries in your resource zone wants initiative, not drift. That means cleaning up loose ends, defining the terms of a project, and paying attention to whether your labor is being matched by actual return. If you've been underpricing yourself, overextending yourself, or quietly hoping someone else will notice your effort without you having to document it, today may be the day you stop making that assumption. There's a synthesis moment here worth remembering. The moon's movement through money, the partnership axis clearing out old residue, and the Vedic emphasis on karmic balance are all describing one practical truth. Your future gets cleaner when your exchanges get cleaner. That can apply to romance, client work, family obligations, or even how you share emotional labor. People often think astrology is about fate. Today, it is more about accounting, not cold accounting, but honest accounting. What is coming in? What is going out? What is being asked of you? And what is being returned? A moment. Here is the truth bomb in today's chart. When a relationship stops costing you your self-respect, it can finally become real. That is the hidden gift of this day for Pisces. Not every ending is dramatic. Sometimes the biggest shift is simply no longer paying with your inner peace for someone else's comfort. And once that lands, your body may ask for recovery. You have probably been carrying more stress than you've admitted, and the moon's movement suggests that your nervous system wants simplicity, less noise, less emotional multitasking, more time to breathe, eat properly, and reset your pace. If you've been feeling scattered, the remedy is not to force more intensity. It is to create a cleaner container. A practical way to work with this energy is to make the day visibly calmer. Wear white if that feels supportive to you, since Pisces often benefits from softness, clarity, and a sense of spaciousness. That is a color practice, not a guarantee, but it can help you tune your mood. A short meditation, a few minutes of journaling, or even sitting near water may bring you back to yourself faster than trying to think your way out of overwhelm. If you're in a spiritual mood, a simple mantra or affirmation about dignity and balance can be useful. And if you are considering any Vedic remedy involving gemstones or Saturn-related support, keep this carefully framed. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras for individuals whose birth charts support them. This is not universal advice. Gemstone prescription in Vedic astrology requires personal chart analysis. Your health today is less about a diagnosis and more about pacing. The moon in Pisces can make everything feel porous, so you may absorb moods from other people without realizing it. The best antidote is to get out of vague emotional space and into a structure your body can trust. Eat on time. Hydrate. Give your mind one task at a time. If you've been exhausted, that does not automatically mean something is wrong. It may simply mean you've been carrying too much that was never yours. Family can be part of that repair. This is a good day to reconnect with relatives or trusted people who make you feel less alone in your own head. Even a simple call or message can steady you. If someone from afar reaches out, especially someone connected to travel or life beyond your usual circle, pay attention. The Aquarius moon suggests that an unexpected update from abroad may bring good news, or at least a broader perspective. Perhaps that's the scene you need right now, an old room opening into a larger horizon. The social tone is also worth watching. Because your discernment is sharper than usual, you may notice who feels nourishing and who feels performative. That doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off. It does mean you can stop mistaking noise for connection. If a friendship, family dynamic, or community situation has been vague, today may bring a cleaner reading of who is actually in your corner. When it comes to travel, the sky suggests openness, especially toward distance, learning, and perspective shifts. You may hear from someone abroad, think about a trip, or feel called to step outside your usual mental routine. Even if travel is not literal, the spirit of the day wants expansion. Read something that widens you. Listen to someone with a different life experience. Let the day teach you that your world is bigger than the current emotional weather. Spiritually, this is a day for release. Not dramatic renunciation, gentle release. The kind that happens when you stop forcing a story to continue after its meaning has already ended. If you've been asking what this whole season was for, the answer may be simpler than you expected. To teach you the difference between devotion and depletion. You don't need to abandon love. You need to abandon self-erasure. If you want the quick cosmic snapshot, it is this. White, water, honesty, and restraint are your allies. Over-explaining, overspending, and overgiving are not. Good timing is stronger than force. Boundaries are luck. Practical self-respect is the real lucky charm. So today, do 4 things. First, say one need out loud before it turns into a mood. Second, check one financial detail and make it cleaner. Third, give your body an hour of quiet without screens or emotional clutter. Fourth, if a partnership, friendship, or family pattern feels finished, let it be finished without bargaining with reality. You are not being asked to become harder. You are being asked to become clearer. And that clarity is what turns a painful ending into a usable beginning. If this message landed for you, stay with it, because the more honestly you name what is changing, the more gracefully the next chapter can arrive.